It's Reefer Madness, the podcast, with Trevor and Kirk.
Kirk, we're back.
Hey, Trevor, how's it going?
Good. And in an effort to keep trying to do this at the beginning, I am Trevor Sheffield. I'm the pharmacist.
And I'm Kirk Nyquist. I'm the registered nurse, and we are Reefer Madness, the podcast. But they already know that because they've dialed in to listen to us.
Yes, they have. So we are, well, we're talking about some of your time in Morocco, but we're actually going to talk to someone in Morocco, weirdly in a snowstorm, we hope today, depending on how all the connections go. Why don't you give us a little bit of background on Jan Van Weenen, if I'm saying that correctly?
Yeah. We met Jan through Peter Van Mil. As I was networking with Peter while we were in Spain networking, I asked him if he had any contacts in Morocco, and he turned me on to Jan. And throughout our trip through Morocco, Jan and I were talking back and forth through WhatsApp and trying to negotiate and figure out when was the best time to go there. And as I have said to in the last podcast, I was traveling Morocco with some friends, and my wife and I were traveling with some friends, and we had commitments to be with our friends for 3 weeks. And my friends do not participate in cannabis and weren't overly interested. So when I was in the Rif Mountains with them, I did not focus on the cannabis stories, but I was still talking to Jan. And as we sort of broke away, our friends left for Canada, Michelle and I carried on our trip. We went through Fez, and then we started going north into the Rif Mountains to meet up with Jan's, and it never happened. He had some difficulties crossing borders. I'm not quite sure what happened. Hopefully he'll explain it to us. But we got into the Rif Mountains. We went to a town, Tatooine, I believe. I'll have to get pronunciation on it. It'll be on our website. And I got to meet some of his colleagues, and we actually traveled to the actual factory. But as we were sitting in the boardroom, I learned that I hadn't gone through the necessary paperwork. We were supposed to have registered with the agencies in Morocco before we even got there. So there was some concern that we were in the building when we weren't properly registered. You have to appreciate in Morocco, in the Rif area, there are military federal police. I guess federal police would be better than military, but they look military. Federal police stationed at key intersections, and they go through people's vehicles because the movement of illicit cannabis is quite well. It's an industry. The illicit cannabis industry in Morocco is an industry. So when we were there, we went through a couple checkpoints, but because I was in a vehicle, Michelle and I were in a vehicle of known people, they left us alone. But from my understanding, they knew we were there. And the fact that we were in the building without authorization created some concern. So I don't know how long we were there, probably, oh God, an hour or 2 hours maybe. And we just started talking with people, and employees would come out of the back rooms and come into the boardroom and talk to us. And I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to even say the company yet. We'll have to get permission from Jans to say this because it was all done anonymously. But they brought me some of their products. They slowly brought stuff out, and they brought me big, huge bricks of what they call keef, that we call hash, but it's called keef, and it was blonde. I don't know, just a big chunk of cannabis products, and we started talking about the culture of Morocco and cannabis. None of this stuff was allowed to be recorded. It was all just talking. I talked a little bit about my upbringing in the West Coast. I talked a little bit about my experiences with hash in the 70s. They showed me the long pipes they use. Like there's a pipe that they use that's long and narrow, and it's a big hash pipe. They talked about how they use hash in their meals. It was it was really a remarkable casual conversation about Morocco cannabis. I wasn't allowed to record it, and I wasn't allowed to make notes. It was just we talked, and I walked away, looked at Michelle, and said, "I that was amazing." I never got around to recording any of it. I did get a gentleman who did record his name, and we have a little story that he recorded that we are allowed to publish. But again, it's got to be done anonymously. So we're hoping that Jan joins us today. As Trevor and I are sort of discussing this episode, we're expecting Jan to come in and join us, but they're in the middle of a snowstorm, and he sent me some pictures. And I hope again we'll be on our website that, I mean, it looks like West Coast Malahat snow is what it looks like to me.
Okay, so assuming, I'm really hoping that Jan breaks in and can do a justice. Let's tell me a little bit about Jan and Jan's company and sort of what our understanding is he sort of does in the cannabis space, the cannabis industry.
Jan is European, I believe Romanian. Again, I may be corrected. My relationship with this gentleman is purely through WhatsApp and also maybe LinkedIn a little bit. His company, the company that I believe he's associated with, is called Somacan, Somacan. Together we can is their slogan, and they provide dietary supplements, cosmetic products, hair care products. In Morocco, the argan oil is huge. Argan is the only place in the world, the only place it grows is in Morocco. So they have an entire industry on argan, and it's very much a hair care product. So I believe that they've maybe included argan with their cannabinoid products. So it appears to me that they, yeah, a combination of cannabis seeds, oil, plant-based ingredients, argan, avocado. So they've got a cosmetic business going. But again, my whole understanding of what Jan is trying to do is he's trying to honor King Mohammed the Sixth decreed that he wants to make
King of Morocco.
the King of Morocco. He wants to make cannabis legitimate. So I believe that is what Jan's purpose is, and that's his business, is to come in and make cannabis legit in Morocco.
All right. So hopefully that's going to be this place where we stop, cut off, and Jan breaks in.
I was stuck there, but
Okay. Well, I'm starting the recording here, Jan. And it's funny. The Rif Mountains, obviously there's elevation, but for the life of me, I did not consider the same amount of snow that the amount of snow you get there. That's amazing.
yeah, it's beautiful, but it's the roads are just yeah, it becomes impossible to drive, but it's beautiful. It doesn't get super cold, maybe like around -5 maximum there in the Rif Mountains, but it's yeah, it snows. It stays a little bit. I hope in a few days it's gone so I can go back.
Yeah,
So not the -34 we've had here this morning.
No.
no. It
That's,
reminded me
even
of it reminded me of the West Coast snow we get on the West Coast of Canada. It's very wet snow. It looked like it was very wet.
yeah, it's like that, but it doesn't. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just
No,
gonna,
it doesn't stay so long normally. It doesn't stay here so long. It goes away pretty fast, but it was too much today.
yeah. We're recording. So I guess the question, what we'll do, Jan, is please, why don't we just start from the very beginning? Of course, my name's Kirk. It's fabulous to finally meet you.
I'm Trevor. I'm Kirk's co-host.
And I guess what we'll do is just jump right into it. Please introduce yourself. Give us an understanding of your role in the cannabis industry in Morocco, and we'll start the conversation.
Okay, thanks, Kirk. Thanks, Trevor. So, yeah, I've been a fan of this plant, I think, for at least 15 years now. I'm now 32. I started in, look, I'm from the Netherlands. We have in the Netherlands a very open cannabis culture, or more open because it's not completely legal, of course. But I got into cannabis in the Netherlands, and eventually I started getting products from Switzerland. And this was so interesting that I decided to move to Switzerland to start finding my own product there instead of relying on other people. And this is how I got into Switzerland. I started a CBD company in the Solothurn area. Yeah, and I had the luck to be at the facility that got the first GACP license in Switzerland. So I was lucky to be there and to be helping on the facility. And this is how I got into pharmaceutical cannabis, basically.
Okay. When I was chatting with you when I was in Morocco, you were in Romania, were you not?
Yes, correct. So my girlfriend, she's from Romania.
Okay.
We've been together for some time now since Amsterdam. She stayed with me also in Switzerland. And eventually we decided to move to Romania because, yeah, it's a lot more calmer life, more relaxed. But yeah, like you said, like I still travel a lot. I have to be a lot in Switzerland. I have to be a lot in Morocco, other countries. Next month I'm going back to Asia again. I was not so long ago. I was in Ukraine even. So it's bringing me everywhere currently, the plant. So it's really cool how to see how it's developing in Europe, the pharmaceutical market.
Yeah, it's funny. You travel across countries the way we travel across provinces. It's sort of kind of the same distances. I go visit relatives in Alberta. I'm traveling 11 hours. You travel 11 hours in Europe. You've traveled across the continent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, though it's yeah, you could compare it to that. Like when I go from the Netherlands to Romania, it's like you go from one state to another state. Basically, it's like
Yeah.
it's like
Also,
that. And
also,
yeah, so what I'm doing is I help. So yes.
no, go ahead. Just there's a delay here, but go right ahead and just
Okay.
chat.
So what I'm doing, I'm helping companies. I have a few good clients, pharmaceutical clients in Europe, and I source for them products. So I source for them GACP certified product. Currently in Morocco, we've been working on this project with our Swiss company Planteamed for some time now. We just got recently, like the beginning of this month, we got the import authorization from the Swiss government and export authorization from the Moroccan government for 100 kilo. So this, I think, will be one of the first big batches that will be going out that is for sure passing all limits, because the problem in Morocco, like I said before, I think it's the heavy metals. We can get a bit more into that later if you want.
No, that's fine. I'm enjoying hearing about your history. So no, please give us more about your cannabis knowledge here. I was telling Trevor earlier that we met through Peter Vermeer, I believe. Peter gave me your name. So are you and Peter old colleagues?
Yes, sort of. We have the same love, I think, for the plant, the same idea about how it should be, like how to get the most pharmaceutical usage out of the plants. And I think me and Peter are pretty much on the same line like that, using whole plant extracts. That's why we are here also in Morocco setting up now fresh frozen whole plant extracts, hash and rosin under GACP and GMP. So yeah, like I said, I hope at the end of this month we'll have our first 100 kilo in Switzerland. We sent already, like in February last year, I think it was. I sent already 2 kilo as a test. This worked, but now this is the real deal. The first 100 kilo, the first big batch, and we'll see how it gets received. But my clients are very eager to receive it. So yeah, I will send you some more pictures of the product that we have after.
That's fantastic. So when you talk about the product, the finished product, are you talking about what I would call, I guess, hash or keef or biomass? What is the 100 kilos going to be?
So look, for us this batch it will be rosin. So it will be hash in. The thing is, on the GACP, they updated it recently, like half a year ago or so, maybe a little bit more than half a year or half a year ago. The time goes so fast. this allows us, with the update also on the terms and definitions of the EMEA regarding cannabis, to import hash under the flower monograph. So basically what we are arguing is, because like hash is new, we only have flower. We have a little bit of distillate, we have a little bit of like tinctures and everything. Yes, there are a few people like Demicon brought some hash rolls into Germany. I believe there is vape cartridges in the UK released, but there is not really like hash yet released. So it was very hard to place this in the pharmaceutical monographs of the European Pharmacopoeia. But we argued to our QPs, okay, look, cannabis, floss, it's an overarching term. In the term sheet and the definitions of the EMEA itself, it says that the trichomes, the glandular trichomes, are falling under this overarching statement. And we use this to justify that this falls under the monograph of the flower. So this is like a battle continuously going back and forth between the responsible persons from the GMP facilities and us, like trying to justify, hey, how can we bring this to market under the current legal framework? And this has been a battle for like a year or two, I think. But most of my QPs, as long as I release it now in Switzerland and they see it, they will feel 100% comfortable to take it. Also in other countries, my clients are basically waiting for us to release it in Switzerland, and then we can distribute it to everybody. It's a bit of a sad thing because the pharmaceutical market lost a lot of trust in Morocco. Like I said before, the heavy metals, it's a very big issue, naturally occurring heavy metals in Morocco. And with the low limits of heavy metals, which we can work with, it makes it very hard. Like if I look now, I think 90% of all the market product on the pharmaceutical market is not eligible to be sent as hash, as smokable, combustible final product to Europe. So it's stressful here in Morocco, but step by step we are getting there. And yeah.
So the barriers to the EU market is coming from the agricultural products of Morocco. Is that where the barriers, or the government, or the behaviors of farmers?
It's a combination of all. So like if you go into Europe or into Canada, where you now also have a lot of GACP facilities, you will see that everything, like from the flower side, so the flower aspect, most of the people, they do their own clones, even in-house, like everything is under one roof. And in Morocco, the problem is you have a cult, so they work with cooperatives. You have a cultivation site, this is part of a cooperative. This cooperative is again, has a contract with the pharmaceutical processor. And like so, before it reaches even the end, or the GMP facility in Europe, before it even reaches there, you already have 3 groups in there. And then you have the mentality of the people here, which have to get a little bit used to this pharmaceutical thing. It's like colliding a bit. It's a difficult thing. It's it's hard to make the people understand. I think it went a little bit too fast, and that they didn't really prepare enough for this. And I don't know, there is not really, I'm saying this person or this group is to blame or whatsoever. It just went too fast. They went into it too fast and they didn't know what to expect. And now it's blowing a bit back on them because it's been 4 years. And I can almost positively say that there is not one company that is in the plus. So it's it's hard in Morocco. But the people, because of this gap between the cultivation and the processor, you have people that have money, they invest into this processing entity, but they leave out this cultivation entity. First of all, because most of the people that are investing in this processing facility are not the people coming from the Rif Mountains. So they have a whole different mindset. They don't know what's all behind that. A lot of people, they are thinking, it's just hash, it's simple. We grow some weed. Weed is weed. It's green. It smells a bit weird, and it is weed. So yeah, it's there is a big. The market needs to develop, and these groups, these 3 entities, need to put their hands together and start being on the same page. And this is what I'm doing now with a few companies. So I'm trying to bring these 3 entities in this chain on the same place, implementing SOPs, implementing a QMS system, implementing basically from seed to sale. I'm helping the companies, and we started with 700 hectares the last few years, so it's a lot. But we cut down now to only 30 hectares because it was impossible to work with most of the farmers, and they went just too big in. And I told them like, hey, we cannot do this. This is impossible to manage. We cannot. And yeah, I think this is where the most problems stem from this setup that they have with the agricultural entity, the processing entity, and the pharmaceutical entity.
Okay, you mentioned heavy metals. Let's say everything gets together. It sounds like the heavy metals is also a barrier. So how do you remove the heavy metals that you're finding within the final product?
So yeah, like for the hash, or let's say in the future we want to do smokable flour for some reason from Morocco. The soil is naturally containing a lot of heavy metals, and we have to deal with arsenic, we have to deal with cadmium, we have to deal with mercury and plum. And what we are seeing is that the lead is extremely high. Yeah, it's extremely high in the Moroccan mountains. And especially with the Beldia. So what we noticed, we have done like, I think in total over 1,000 analysis from soil to water to products, because we cannot homogenize batches. It's very hard. Like if I have one cooperative with 10 farmers, I have to test the farmers' batches one by one, because I cannot guarantee that all these batches are the same. Every field is different. But what we see is that the CBD containing, so hemp mixed with hemp varieties, seem to be more hyper accumulating all the heavy metals. So what we see in the land race of the Beldia, which is like a 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio, these are pooling so much heavy metals. It's like almost at least double or triple the amounts that we find in imported varieties. So this is another barrier, this heavy metal things, yes. And the Moroccan government not wanting to work with different varieties. They want to push this variety, the Beldia, and it's a beautiful variety. It's a beautiful plant. I love this plant, but you will never be able to compete in the international market. And we are not doing it's not like an NGO project or whatsoever. It's like people have a business, they need to make money. And if I get now hash offered for 800 euros from Canada, where the salaries and all the other costs are so much higher, and the people here want more than that, yeah, we have a problem. And if you have low yielding varieties like the Beldia, I get 5 times, sometimes 6 times, sometimes 7 times more yield with the other varieties, and I get a higher price. So Morocco really needs to start thinking like, hey, yes, this Beldia is our heritage, let's say, it's our pride and everything, but it's not working out financially. And this is also one of the big barriers, I would say. The heavy metals, yes. And regarding the heavy metals, how to counter that? It's like we looked into all possibilities, like making rolls, working in pots, so that we don't have to work direct to soil, but the cost for this is way too high. So I think the only viable option would be to use something that causes like absorption of the heavy metals, and that would be something like biochar or silica biochar, I would say. This I think we will start trials this year on a few fields, adding biochar to the field, and seeing how we get rid of these heavy metals step by step. It's like we have to do it step by step, because I can also not say, hey, let's put full 30 hectares of biochar. It's another investment, and you can imagine the companies after 4 years of not making money, they are not so eager to invest anymore. So it's like it's difficult situation now, but the serious players, they will be okay.
So I want to stress this is the pharmaceutical grade cannabis, correct? That the heavy metals pose a problem, because I mean, as we all know, the recreational trade, the illicit trade in Morocco, hash is known throughout the world. So what I'm hearing you saying is a lot of that hash that goes out is full of heavy metals.
Yes, full of heavy metals.
And Jan, just curious. So biochar would be to get less heavy metals out of the soil. Is there any economical ways of getting the heavy metals out of either the bud or the rosin later, or is that just not economically viable?
That's not economically viable. Yes, we could do CRC, so we could pull it through CRC, but then you destroy the product and it will lose the value. We have no like distillate. Yeah, look. I always give this example to my clients. If you look at ASG Baselet, I don't know if you know the company, is an Israeli company based in Malta as well. They are, I think, the biggest pharmaceutical seller of tinctures. So pharmaceutical grade, API grade tinctures with cannabis. Um, and if I calculate back because their numbers are open, you can just find their numbers online. If I calculate this back to what I need in biomass to provide for this last 8 years that they have been providing, I could give them to that in 1 year. So, and I need only a small percentage of that. So, like, the market also for the tinctures is not developed enough because the tinctures are way too expensive in Europe. Like I believe in Switzerland, they're asking between 100 to 200 euro for distillate per gram. Who's gonna buy this? Who's already smoking? Who's already into cannabis? They will have their own people that just make a small extraction from an illegal grow if these prices are not working out. So yeah, I don't see, like, if you want to remove these heavy metals, you have to do it in the cultivation. Else the product I cannot sell my hash anymore. So yeah, look, it's hard, it's difficult, but I think because it's difficult, a lot of people, they give up and they don't want to keep going. So that's why we are still here and we still believe in it. And luckily, our companies we work with, they have the budget to do the testing and keep developing further. And I think that the way we should do it is like we are a sort of example. So we figure out for them. We work closely with the University of Fes together, the Euromed University. We work together with the University in Casablanca. So we have a lot of people working on it, and we're doing it step by step. So we try to make like this biochar thing. We're gonna apply it to a few fields. We're gonna check it, and then maybe we can see, okay, it works. And then to add farmers and give more licenses instead of what they did, like, hey, give away all these licenses. But now they're pulling back licenses again. But let's make an example of how it should actually work, because you can take everyone's license away after 4 years, but nobody is sending. So nobody has an example of what to do, and this is very hard for them. And I feel.
Well, we've lost them.
Did we lose Jan?
Yeah, I think he'll come back though. I wanted to hear him talk a little bit more about the heavy metals in the recreational hash, because the fact that that's out there, that's quite remarkable. I wonder what damage heavy metals do when you're consuming Moroccan hash. But then again, how many other products have heavy metals in it we don't know about?
When we talk forever about the plant just being really good at pulling heavy metals out of soil.
Yeah. So of course it's going into the plant, and
bioaccumulating.
Good name. He'll log back in hopefully. I'm going to pause this here. I will pause. Okay, we're back recording. Man. No worries, man. No, it's completely understandable. It's not a problem. It's our Saturday here. So we're doing good. We were just talking, waiting for you to come in. One of the questions that Trevor was going to ask is about the recreational side of Morocco. What is it about Moroccan hash that the world seems to love?
Yes, it should be back again.
Okay, we're there. Hello, sir. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the Moroccan hash that's seen recreationally. It's got heavy metals in it, but it's known throughout the world. So there's a little bit of irony here in regards to Morocco having difficulties getting into the legitimate world.
Yeah. No, it's a big problem. It's like the only thing is to make a change in this, like it's the best argument to make a change, to make a change, legalize it, and to have a safe product. It's just here. Look, I'm also still here. I cannot talk too much about how much resistance as I have taken as that I would like to tell you, but yeah. If there is other things at play, I don't know. It's difficult here. I tried to talk with the government many times. I gave many presentations. Mr. Dr. Abi, He has been very helpful. He has allowed me to speak at events, to network with people here in Morocco. It's just the government agency, the ANRAC. Like I said before, it went too fast, and they got overwhelmed by everything, and this is has delayed the whole industry a little bit. Let's say.
Yeah, no worries. As you know, I made it to one of the manufacturing spots. We got in the building, but we got thwarted going any further. And some of the contacts you gave me have asked to be kept anonymous. But one of the conversations I had with the gentleman was about the cooperatives. Do you want to speak a little bit about Somanican, the company that I visited? Can you speak a little bit?
Yes, of course. Yes,
Yeah.
so Somacan is the first licensed company. That's the one that I'm working with now. This is you met at the facility. Yeah. Okay, so he quit. He's a really great guy. I have some amazing people there, like Yahya, Salah, Yaya. They are amazing workers. I swear, I wish I could take them with me to Europe to come work for me there.
I spent about an hour with them, right? About an hour and a half in the boardroom, and we just talked and talked. They wouldn't let me record anything, unfortunately, and I couldn't get beyond the doors because apparently I didn't register. But they were fascinating people and very friendly and treated Michelle and I very well. And like I said, I have a 20-minute to keep it confidential and anonymous. Because I guess of fear of
I look. It's the project is, of course, in Morocco. This is the project of the king. Everybody in Morocco wants this to succeed, and it should succeed. We'll make it succeed. The thing is, like, because it's not going, everybody is also very afraid. Like, they're afraid to show their facilities. They're afraid for the criticism they might receive. I've seen a few times people posting, Moroccan operators posting on on LinkedIn, and they get criticism. And like the mentality also, look, not only the industry needs to evolve, but also the mentality. The mentality is sometimes very difficult to work with. Look, the Moroccan people are great people, but the business mentality is hard. Look, we are working in the pharmaceutical industry, and how should I say? Let's say if I want to import something, it costs me a lot of money, and sometimes we cannot pay up front because we are not sure the risks we are taking with the product, so they need to send it on consignment. And to get a deal like this, which is very normal in pharmaceutical industry, that you make contract for a longer time, and you like we take the cost for the processing, and we split the profit after. Yeah. So and this kind of things, they are trying to make their own new industry rules or something, like which they want to enforce on the people on the international market. And in Morocco, they care about this, but the international market doesn't care about Morocco. And this is what I always tell them, and it's hard for them to believe, because they say, but Morocco is the #1 in hash. But yeah, it doesn't matter if the whole world is full of cannabis. You can get hash anywhere. And yes, it might be grown in Morocco. It might be like tasting a little bit different. But in the end, we have to make, like on large scale, a lot of products, and it's like, this also what I say, like, of course, people, they buy very expensive wines, but most wines that are being sold, and like, I love the highest quality. I love to make hash already for many years. I only make for myself the highest quality, but the reality is that most of your products that will be sold are not going to be the highest quality, and they need to be, like, you need to produce bulk, and your costs need to be low, and things for this need to change, and you cannot do it the same as how you were doing it before. And this mentality of trying to do it like how they did it before, and just seeing it like as a production facility, like you're just making, like, it's like I'm selling lemonades or something. Sometimes this is how they look at it, but no, this is not. It takes careful planning, and these are all long-term projects, and that for a lot of people is very hard to understand, because these cooperatives, they come from a market where they make their product, somebody comes, they put cash on the table, and they leave. And this change, is also very difficult. So yeah, and the people, the criticism they got over the last few years, they don't want to show anything anymore. They are very afraid, and this is also because this also partially not their fault, I would say, because like we have the the GACP accreditation. Every pharmaceutical producer needs to have a GACP accreditation. This got a little bit stricter in the latest update. Like we need, even for outdoor, you need a very strict QMS system. And this is nowhere implemented. But somebody somehow, LSQA is a Uruguay-based company. They gave out all the GSP accreditations. But if you would come with me, and I would take you to 99% of the farms, none of them is GSP accredited. If I, as a client, come there, I will tell them directly, like, hey, we cannot do this. We cannot work like this. And this is. This because their government told them it was okay. The government agency told them it was okay like this because the government agency fixed this. Now everybody paid a lot of money for fake GACP, and when a serious client comes down to do an audit, they will see it's all bullshit, and like they will not take the product. And this destroyed the whole face of pharmaceutical cannabis in Morocco. And yeah, look, don't get me wrong, and maybe it sounds like I'm only talking negative now, which is not. I just want to highlight the struggles that we have here, because
just my experience alone demonstrated some of the struggles that you're working in. And I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the Dr. Rabi episode we just put out last week. I mean, he spoke about that there's difficulties. Trevor, did you have some questions?
No, I think Jan covered most of it.
Okay.
How about just let's assume everything goes right, Jan, and you figure out the heavy metals thing and get through the bureaucratic red tape. Where would you like to see? Where would you like to see your company with the Moroccan hash and other Moroccan cannabis products going? Where, in a perfect world, where would you like to see this going?
Okay, so my goal and my partner's goal is, with our Swiss company, we are now operating under pharmaceutical. Because this is the most established. Like, we could go into THCA, which is getting now a little bit bigger in Europe, but it's a bit gray market. We could go into the other cannabinoids, but we don't like that. So we want to establish a pharmaceutical brand, because eventually it will become recreational, everything. And we want to establish our brand and our name in this pharmaceutical phase, so that when it becomes recreational, I want to be able to directly apply for these licenses and switch my brand into the recreational market. So what our goal as our company, Planteermet, is that we import. We want to become the biggest importer and distributor of extracts, and not distillate or like crude or whatsoever. No, like the extracts nobody else is focused on, like the hash rosin, the live rosin, filtered hash, like the static hash. I sent some videos in the chat, I believe, of the static that we have. So this nobody really brought to the market yet on the pharmaceutical market. And since our QPs are willing to release now, this is our goal, to just be the biggest distributor on the European market, and hopefully also other markets like Australia, the UK, and any other market basically that would be open.
Very cool.
I'd like to touch on, again, going back to the Somacan company. So you said, well, we can also remove his name when we produce this, but you say he quit. He's moved on?
Yeah. So he quit. His family lives in the south of Morocco,
Right.
and it like he also has a child. So for him, it was like too much. It was consuming too much of his time. I feel very bad that he's gone, because he was an amazing guy. One of the few people that actually, like, I ran with them the last cultivation season. I ran with them the whole year, so we had a lot of time to talk and get to know each other. But the guys, they also got thrown into the deep, let's say, with this. They just got, because like the Somacan, it's a lot of people that didn't come from the traditional hash market. Somacan hired people like studied engineers like Nabil or Yaya, that have actually done studies and that come from the job market. And these people, they had a lot to learn, but I managed to teach them a lot over this period, because like now they are thinking a lot with me. They're helping me with everything. Like I can go now to Tangiers and leave them at the facility and do everything, even all GCP documentation. It's completely done properly. So I'm very happy with the team at Somacan. I think they're the most professional in Morocco at the moment and the most professional that I've worked with. So and of course there are some issues, some struggles that we have to go through still, but. Yeah, Somacan is doing a great job actually at the moment. And
So is this your business? Is this one of your investments?
no, this is not no. So we our Swiss company, we have a supply agreement with Somacan and
Okay.
a consultancy agreement. So we help them. Like our company helps them to get the product that we want. So I am on site. We agreed that I will be here on site to help with the cultivation, the processing, documentation, so that we are sure that we get what we want. So we work from the other way around, basically, from the client to the product, instead from making the product to finding clients.
Okay. So I'm looking at their webpage and they have a whole load. And I saw the products when I was there because in the boardroom they had the products. So that company are they making their products from their cooperatives, from their farmers? So what's the process? They grab it, they make it into the hash or the keef, and they send it to Europe, make the products, and it comes back to Morocco?
So the Moroccan market for the hash pharmaceutically is not developed yet. We have now pharmaceutical CBD. Let's say CBD is allowed to be sold in pharmacies, but like Somacan, they like it. How should I say? The market, it's not moving so much. So there is a bit of product being sold here now. We are making a little bit of CBD isolate here and there, which is sold in Morocco to be processed further. But like the problem here also, like isolate, distillate, or whatsoever, the margins and the prices, they don't work out. Like the farmers say, I rather go back to the black market than get the price that you give me for my biomass to do this, to be able to compete. So this is also an issue. You know, there needs to be they need to sit together, and this is this three-party system that's making it very hard, where you have three entities that need to be on the same page, which are in Europe or in any other country, but not in Morocco. So yeah, it's
So where's the product coming from that they're selling then? I mean, they're selling CBD-based herbal teas, they're selling hair creams. Where is that cannabis product coming from that they're selling?
This comes from the cooperatives. So we have like the cooperatives under Somacan, and under these cooperatives, you have the farmers again. So Somacan, they buy from the cooperatives, the cooperatives, they buy from the farmers. And this is where this product comes from that you saw in the facility. This comes from the farmers of the cooperatives that Somacan has an agreement with.
Right. And then that product becomes a hair product. So they're not making the hair product in Morocco. Is the product going out of country? Right. How is that working? They make it.
They make it. They make it the CBD products they're allowed to make if they are within the right limits. So, like we are allowed to make CBD up to 1%, depending on where it's being sent, of course, and the end product, how much is mixed in. Where we can send it, like to Switzerland, it's 1%. Some other countries is 0.2%. So it depends a bit. But yes, but like I said, it's not being shipped so much to Europe because nobody agrees with the pricing. Nobody is agreeing on the pricing. And like I told them as well, like a lot of the operators, they still have stuff from 3 years ago. And your product is not getting better because their storages, everywhere the storages are not like how they should be. And it can get very hot here, you know, it can get easily like 45 plus degrees.
Yeah.
So you are keeping your stuff. We also had to cut off a few cooperatives that are keeping their stuff in the greenhouses at 45 degrees outside. Can you imagine how warm it is indoor? This product is, it's almost destroyed within a day, you know. And it's a shame that this is not on point yet. But like with 700 hectares, like I said before, it's impossible to be at every farmer every day because I need to spend at least a few days every now and then there to see what's going on, to see if the documentation is going well. And if we have 700 hectares divided over, let's say, 450 farmers, it was, yeah, I cannot even visit every farmer in the whole year if I spend one day with every farmer. So this was also making it very difficult, and we had a whole team like with the guys. But like I said, we decided to cut back 30 hectares now. We start with this product and we work it up again from there because it's unmanageable like that.
Is there anything else you want our listeners to know about your business in regards to how your relationship with cannabis and your business?
So yes, so I can make a little shout out for myself now. That would be nice,
Yes, do
actually.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So look, our business, like Plantea Med, I will send you the links and everything. We opened it like a little bit over half a year ago because we had a lot of clients. We were working with big GMP facilities in Europe, but we were organizing everything, but only getting a small cut. So we decided to get investors, get our own GMP facility. We have the audit now in March, so soon we'll have our own GMP licenses as well. So we don't have to use our service providers anymore to serve our clients. So basically what we're doing is importing, and we're always looking for a good product. If there is any good product, they can always reach out to us. They can offer it to us. We are always open for a discussion. I'm always open to also help people set up their processing facilities, like especially solventless. I love solventless, like ice water hash, static hash. I can help pharmaceutical GACP facilities or GMP facilities with our team, help them get these kind of things implemented in their facilities. So there's like consultancy with cultivation, consultancy with processing, helping product get to market. This is basically what we're doing.
I'm very glad to have finally met you. It's a shame we never got to shake hands in Morocco, but another time.
For sure, Kirk.
Yeah.
No, I'm very happy. Thank you for having this talk, and I really appreciate it. Look, I hope actually that we'll see each other sometime soon.
Yeah.
You're anyways always welcome to come by here or to come to Europe. And if not, by any of this time you've come to there, I'm sure I will be visiting maybe you guys one time there. That would also be nice.
Canada's a big country. And we're right in the middle of it. We're right in the middle of it. My goal is to hopefully get to South America someday. I'd like to meet Peter again and what he's doing in Suraman. That's very exciting what he's doing down there.
That's amazing, and you should actually. And if you are going there, maybe I will ask him if I can take a flight to there and we can meet up there. It's also better weather there than in Canada.
Oh yeah. Well, it's minus 35 out here right now, so it's very, we're actually going to go for a snowshoe a little later today. So go walking in the snow. It's been a pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Sam. Likewise.
Thanks, Jan.
Trevor, Kirk. If there is anything, just send me a message, and I appreciate it. Yes.
Anything you send us, we'll put on the webpage to add credibility to your story. So
perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Yes?
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Bye now. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Hey,
Kirk,
Trevor. How's it going?
Who thought on a minus 35 day in Dauphin we'd be talking to a Dutch guy in Morocco in a snowstorm?
Who lives in Romania.
And his company is based out of Switzerland.
Yeah.
Interesting dude.
Yeah, and international story, man. It's funny how his experiences matches Dr. Rabi's. I mean, what is that tripod he was talking about? He's talking about the farmer, the manufacturers, and
so you've got the farmer, the co-op collects from the farmers, and then the manufacturers, and not unlike Canada and everywhere else, different groups are. Red tape sounds really like two of the main problems. Everybody agrees it's a fantastic product. Like you've said many times, Moroccan hash has been known forever to being fantastic. But if everybody wants their cut, and if no one can quite agree to work together, and there's no coordination, it does really sound like the king is working hard to get Moroccan hash legitimate out there in Europe, in the rest of the world. But maybe Jan's right. Maybe things went a little fast, and now we've got to do a little backtracking to get things to go properly. And one of the things I found most interesting is heavy metals just naturally being in the soil in the Rif Mountains is an issue. It's obviously been an issue forever because it's naturally occurring. It's there. So, like you've said a couple times, it's been in the recreational hash forever. But now we're looking at the medicinal. There are standards about how much heavy metal can be in there, and now people like Jan have got to look into soil remediation.
But this is not the first time we've heard this. The whole GAP, good, what is it? Good agricultural practices. That's what that stands for. He was using a lot of acronyms, and I was trying to catch up with that. But I think that's good agricultural practice. It's not the first time we heard it. I think Dr. Belneves was telling us one of the biggest difficulties in Canada with doing pharmaceutical grade research with cannabis is that it's got to be grown in GAP environments. It's got to meet that pharmaceutical grade. Good or bad, it's definitely affecting cannabis's ability to be seen as a mainstream medicine, I think.
Well, it's kind of everyone agreeing on what standard we have to go. If there's one standard for recreational and a higher standard for medicinal, because I think we even talked about that with Eric Greening from Greencraft Cannabis here in Dauphin. They were working on, and I've lost track if they got it or not, but at one point they were working on getting approved to European standards so they could sell to Europe. Now that is basically extra paperwork, extra everything they have to do, which drives up their costs so they could sell to Europe. But if they're just selling in Canada, but their competitors in Canada, if they don't bother, they don't have to put in as much cost. So it's getting everybody on the same playing field would be back to Morocco. If everybody could sort of just agree on what the playing field was, and like Jan said, they've got to keep economic realities in effect that yes, Moroccan hash is great. But, if all you sell is, the creme de la creme product, you're throwing away a lot of market share. So it was a fascinating talk about how I think, yes, they're running into some hurdles, but I think with people like Jan, I think they will get there.
Yeah. And it's the birth of an industry, right? This is what we're observing here, a birth of an industry, an ancient industry that's going into the legit market. It's fascinating. And it just makes me want to go back and maybe do some skiing in Morocco. Because actually, I think there is a ski hill in Morocco.
Who'd have thought it? Do you think you knew some? It could be a travel thing. Camels in the morning, skiing in the afternoon, maybe the other way around. I don't know.
Golfing, go surfing.
Yeah.
I'll post some of the pictures that Jan sent to us on the webpage. Let's. This is getting a bit long in the tooth. It's been a good story. It's been a long time coming. Talking to Jan, it seems like every time we have an opportunity to talk, a barrier gets in the way. So it's nice to meet him. And I'm Kirk. I'm the registered nurse, and we're Reefer Midness, the podcast. I'm
Trevor Schufeld. I'm the pharmacist, and it was a lot of fun talking to Jan and hearing all about trials and tribulations, like you said, in the birth of a legitimate industry in Morocco. That was great.
Yep. All right, man. Talk to you later.
You bet. Okay.